Welcome to episode 13 of the Blokebusters podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Brian.
Today is February the 20th, 2013. I know, a week after the last one.
We are on it.
Oh, yeah. And today we'll be talking about the film Warm Bodies, as well as taking a look at these comedy zombie film genre.
The zombie, the Rom-Zom.
Rom-Zom-Com, as I believe they're called.
Yeah.
Just a broad view of that, as much as we would probably like to go into.
And where this particular film maybe ranks among those, I'm sure we'll get to.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, synopsis.
So, what is Warm Bodies about? It's not about, a morgue. Those are relatively cold. This is, let's just say it's, coming off this off the top of my head, I would have to say it's After R. A highly unusual zombie saves Julie from an attack. The two form a relationship that sets in motion a sequence of events that might transform the entire lifeless world. That was the database in my head there.
In case you haven't figured it out by now, we may be drawing from IMDb every now and again during these.
Or relying on it like a crutch. In some cases.
Alright, so, going into the nitty-gritty of it very quickly, director Jonathan Levine.
Mm-hmm.
This is
also writer.
Oh, was he the writer?
He was the writer, along with the novelist,
right?
Isaac Marion. Yeah.
So I guess he would be the adapter.
Yes, the adapter.
Alright. This is his fourth film. The only one that I've seen other than this one is 50-50.
Fantastic film if you haven't seen it, of course.
Yeah, right?
With the on-fire JGL.
And a rather good Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, recently...
There was some surprise in my tone, which I haven't enjoyed Seth Rogen. I don't mean to say that.
No,
but,
yeah.
But he was in a more serious role very well done.
Yeah, I do like when you find... Complete tangent now. I do like when you find...
We are on the 50-50 podcast at this point.
Where you find comedy actors end up doing really well in the serious roles.
Yeah.
Like,
we will have to maybe subject someday. Eternal Sunshine in there.
Yeah, right. And I was
Lost
about
in
to
Translation.
I was about to say with the Jim Carrey, the number 23, and then I stopped myself by going, well, he might have been good in it, but it's not exactly a film of any note.
No. I can think of 23 other movies I'd rather see in a second.
Alright, so yes, quickly moving on.
Warm Bodies.
Budget, $30 million.
I believe it.
It was released on the 1st of February. And
Fantastic day.
Yeah. As of the 17th of February, it has made $69,171,000.
All right. They doubled the Kevin Smith mark.
Yeah. Apparently, it was released on January 31st in some countries. Over here, the 1st. I still can't quite figure out why they do that. Some major film, some British films obviously might get released a day or two earlier in England than over here, and the same some
other way around.
Over here. I think the really big ones get released worldwide the same day, but some of the American films do come out over here way before England. I think there was a film that was coming out. I wish I could remember it. There was a film that was coming out on DVD over here before it had been released in cinemas in the UK.
I cannot think of the movie for the life of me, but when I was in London, I was obviously, much bigger, and was a bus stop or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever you call them, Charlie Garage. Paul's going to hate me in a second.
I have no idea what he's talking about right now. I need more details, sir.
Yeah, bus stop. What is this thing? But there's a big movie poster there, and I can't not think of the movie for the life of me. But it had already been on DVD, like you said, and it was Jack Black and someone else. But I looked just like Jack Black with the shades I had on, and I had a big, thin beard on all the way through, and I just made the same puffy face. And there's a picture somewhere of me doing that, and I cannot think of what the movie was. But around 2008, whatever was it.
Going on a brief thing, that'll be after School of Rock then. Tropic Thunder, maybe?
I think it was Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
I think it was Tropic Thunder, yeah. Yep, because I covered up Owen Wilson or whoever's who's in that.
Well,
Tom Cruise. No.
On the cover would be
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, and then
Robert Downey.
Got Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I think I covered up Stiller. Yeah, so it's just me and Jack Black. It looked very similar. Yeah. All right. We are covering a movie here at some point, I promise.
Yes, we probably should get back to this. So, yes, the cast list, you got Nicholas Hoult, however you want to pronounce it. Last name is R.
However you want to pronounce that.
Yeah, however you want to go that.
If you're a pirate.
Teresa Palmer as Julie Grigio, Rob Corddry as M, Dave Franco, the youngest brother of James Franco, as Perry Kelvin. Not in it very much, but no. He still gets, according to IMDb and Wikipedia, he gets a fairly high up listing.
He is like fourth build or so, I don't know.
Yeah, and
fifth.
Of course the other, like the biggest name, you could argue, well, you wouldn't even have to argue, in the film, John Malkovich.
Malkovich.
As Colonel Grigio, the father of Julie Grigio.
Being very Malkovich.
Being Mr. Malkovich, of course. Let's not go down that route. So, this film, going into it, when I heard about it, I thought this could be a fantastic idea. Something where it doesn't quite take it too seriously. I still got that from the trailers. And that it was told from the point of view of a zombie. There have been other films that kind of do that, and I, of course, am completely blanking on those films.
Well, like most of the other films we're thinking of, it's the survivor's viewpoint. Primarily, trying to survive.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. And there was one where...
This does bounce back and forth.
There's one called Spike, which has Billy Connolly, fantastic Scottish comedian, as a pet zombie. Because for some reason this society has somehow got around to domesticating zombies. No, of course it's not Spike. So yes, thank you, sir. Fido. Why the hell did I think it was Spike? Ignore
both incarnations of Fido. It has been remade. Like 6 or 7 years ago, something like that.
That might have been.
I was working in a movie theater when it came out, and then there's the original, which is many years ago.
So you got that one. There's one that I think I gave it as a Netflix suggestion called Zombies. I did.
Yes, you told me that.
And again, that was kind of taking the piss a little bit, poking fun at for those who aren't in the know of UK slang at the zombie thing as a whole. As I believe my co-host argued, not necessarily zombies.
No, I'm very particular on the definition of what a zombie is. They're not fast-running diseased people. They have to have died.
There is the argument made in the film that they have died, their bodies have died, they just keep going. Whatever. So, there are films of this effect around, but this is, to my knowledge, the first bigger budget, widely released film that is told mostly from the point of view of the zombie.
Yeah, the voiceover is all
is the main character from the beginning. It's his
movie,
And I saw the people that were in it, and I thought, I kind of recognize them.
Well, it's been many years since I've seen Nicholas Hoult in a movie. Yeah. Because About a Boy was really my introduction to him, which I really enjoyed in that movie.
And I saw About a Boy ages ago. Yeah. I saw X-Men First Class.
See, I did not actually see that. So
he is Hank McCoy, the young Hank McCoy. He's also in The Weatherman as the son of Nicolas Cage.
Okay. Yeah, so in a few things, but this is his most exposure. Yeah, definitely his most exposure since About a Boy, I'd say. Well, X-Men First Class I did pretty well, I guess.
Yeah, that'll be the thing. This is the one where he's in a major role.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hank McCoy is a big role and everything, but this is where he's at the forefront for the entire film.
Yeah. Carries the movie with Teresa Palmer. Yeah.
And of course, Teresa Palmer, again, it was a face of like, I guess I kind of recognize her.
Kind of looks like a poor man's Amanda Seyfried a little bit, or Seyfried, you know who I mean? I can't,
however you want to say that last name.
Kind of, I was like, is it her? And then I'm like, no, it's not her.
Well, I looked up some of her films. The ones that I've seen, Bedtime Stories.
Okay.
Completely forgotten about that one.
Sorcerers.
And The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay, I've seen Sorcerers. I have not seen, she was in I Am Number 4.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't write that one down, but I've seen that one. She's not in it for long.
Oh, okay. I think. That was just her top billed things when you search her on IMDb.
Yeah, in that one, she plays an alien who turns up in the last, I think, 20 minutes of the film. Okay. So, not much screen time for that one.
Kind of like Bill Murray in a movie we'll be talking about later.
Bill Murray? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. We're not talking about Caddyshack.
No. So
20 minutes, what?
Sorcerer's Apprentice, I was shocked I didn't recognize her.
Yeah.
Because even when I saw the film, it didn't click to me that it was her from Sorcerer's Apprentice. I love the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I have not actually seen all of it. I watched it late and felt
I really enjoyed Nicolas Cage doing Nicolas Cage. It's thing, if you actually want to see Nicolas Cage doing Nicolas Cage, watch, I think it's called Drive Angry. That is just Nicolas Cage. He clearly just decided, I'm going to be me, and the script will do. There we go.
With the exception of Kick-Ass, I know we had this argument, I think, before.
Yeah.
Give me 80s Nick Cage any day. With the exception of Kick-Ass, except for Big Daddy.
Yeah.
And his perfect Adam West impression.
Or
homage, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not really an impression.
Well, then you could argue, technically that would be pre-80s Nicolas Cage then, if we're going for... If he's going Adam West.
Yeah. Recorded in... Yeah, it's give me... All right. So, Teresa Palmer,
Yeah, so...
anything,
I
lovely looking lady. I did want to comment real quick. I did have a friend, I think I'm paraphrasing maybe, but he did say Warm Bodies should be called Twilight, the Zombies edition, and to which I disagreed eventually. Yeah, and I said, this was on Facebook, and I said, I believe Teresa Palmer could act her way out of a paper bag, unlike Vampire Girl. The many faces. That is one of a Vampire Girl. Even though I really do love... We'll name her Kristen Stewart. You're not trying to protect her. Something very attractive about her, or alluring, at least to me. There's something, I don't know. She worked for me in Adventureland and Into the Wild.
Maybe outside of the one-dimensional character.
My only reason for bringing that up is I thought Teresa Palmer did do a very good job doing her side. Playing against our...
Yeah, actually showed emotion.
Yeah.
Maybe if Kristen Stewart was playing a zombie in Twilight, that would make it way better.
It
a vampire that falls in love with a zombie.
I mean, it is such an odd premise, like, the zombie is going to keep you safe, and you're going to go along with it, and you pull that off. Like,
it did well with the initial utter shock and being scared shitless throughout the entire thing. Because imagine you've been fighting zombies pretty much, I guess, your entire life at this point, and not only are you, as far as you're aware, the only survivor of your group of a zombie attack, but one of the zombies then takes you to one side and saves you. What's going on? And she showed that well, the conflicts that's going on, and of course you see her plotting an escape but not knowing when to do it, and of course the escape doesn't quite go as planned. Doesn't she try and escape twice, I think? Doesn't learn the first time.
And then realizing he slowly does what to protect her, and that he poses no threat.
I was just like, I'm just gonna sit back in my airplane seat.
Don't stare. Don't be creepy. And I did love the obligatory montage. I did enjoy the montage. I will admit, of them falling in love, so to speak. With they do the little viewfinder thingy, and I don't know, the records and all that stuff.
As of course, Team America states so well, you gotta have a montage.
Always fade out.
But you fade out, it seems like more time has passed in a montage.
So a lot of things happen.
We didn't actually need reminding of what was going on in this one, though. So.
And you have M standing outside the plane.
Yes.
Losing his friend. Kind of.
M, I think, Rob Corddry as M, definitely the best zombie. Even though R is your main character for you, definitely M. M's the most human to begin with, I think. Yeah. Because he's still got that, obviously, slight sarcastic humor to him. Yeah. And then, when R starts to regain his humanity, he passes that, but still, one of those great things of, I think there's a point where R is protecting her, and then M talks to him, and she says something to him, like, I'm sorry, but I saw this, and then he just turns back to R and goes, I like her.
And I've always loved Rob Corddry from, the earliest days on Daily Show.
I want to look those up because I wasn't watching the Daily Show at the time. I wasn't in America. We don't have the Daily Show in England. I think they do now. maybe.
Yeah.
Comedy Central, you might be able to record it. I don't know how far behind it is.
Yeah.
And I sort of wish that my job hours would allow me to record and then watch it every day, because I love The Daily Show.
Yeah, and he's always been enjoyable on it. And I did not see Hot Tub Time Machine, which I know he was in.
I have seen Hot Tub Time Machine, and while not a film I would say everyone should go out and watch it.
You know me in time travel, first of all.
Yeah.
And then you have 80s spoof.
Yeah, it is very much
Fantastic.
a piss take of time travel in general and
like Bill and Ted's kind of thing.
Yeah. And you got Crispin Glover doing very well in his thing as well. Once again, almost like the Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, it's a TV watch
guy.
for me. I'll catch it on cable.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's John Cusack. Like, that film would, I would say, be his best role in the last couple of years.
Also, I'm going to the Nicolas Cage rule. Give me 80s Cusack, not the Raven Cusack.
I couldn't believe the Raven.
Or the Time Machine Cusack,
he wasn't bad.
Hey, he did some good stuff in the 90s, too. High Fidelity, and, you know.
High Fidelity, I think, is
one of my favorite films.
of his.
Yeah. It's in my top 50, I'd say.
And of course, a great Jack Black role as well.
Well, yeah, I think I said earlier in the podcast that one of my other tolerable Jack Black performances. Not tolerable, loved.
Yeah.
I loved, And that, because when I was recommending Bernie, I believe.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
We really should get back to this.
We obviously loved this movie because we cannot stop talking about it.
I'll say right now, I like this film.
I think it is well worth the price of admission.
Yeah, a good film, told very well,
mm-hmm.
and you get a lot of the comedy comes from your standard view of zombies, and either are pointing out some of it, or pointing out how silly some of it is, or the human side of it, and then all of that stuff, or it just comes from the awkwardness of this zombie being the typical high schooler, basically. Pretty girls, notice me. Look cool. And a lot of the little one-liners that he has, there's one point where he's inside the human camp, and they're going past some soldiers, and he's walking past the guy with the gun, and you hear him just being like, say something human, say something human, say something human. And then he says something, just kind of mutters something like, alright. Wolfpack, nailed it. Just those little things really made the film. It was a very good tale. Mm-hmm. I've not read the book. I know pretty much how the book goes.
Yeah, I would be interested in taking a look at it.
And it's apparently a fairly close version. Obviously, they'll have changed something for cinema, because as much as people hate, you can't have a direct
no Tom Bombadil. He was taken out again. Cannot get a break.
I know. They should at least just mention him in passing.
Yes. Yeah, I know I listened to a podcast called Comedy Film Nerds. It's Chris Mancini and Graham Elwood. And I previously told Paul, one of them, I forget who reviewed it, and wasn't that big of a fan, but I think they went in with the wrong perception. They're like nitpicking the zombie rules that are set up and discrepancies in the rules, and kind of schmaltzy, love seeing like the montage I talked about and stuff, and like they weren't into it and I was, and I think I accepted the movie for what it was, and not like what I wanted, like, this is a straight up zombie movie, or whatever you may think. I accepted it like this is a romantic comedy, pretty much. Yeah, and I'm willing to accept girl falls in love with zombie. Even though at the point she falls in love with him, he's more human than zombie. So or more human, you could say, than a lot of people left in the camp, or in the human camp.
If we're gonna
that
go
are just
with
killing machines,
social commentary.
Yes, but that was another one of their complaints, is when that Perry gets ingested, I guess you could say, spoiler, by R. Before then, they say, well, supposedly these kids have grown up in this world and have been doing these scouting missions, whatever, their entire lives, and you have a kid sitting there playing video games, And they're like, so you're telling me you have these generators, and he's allowed to use the generator to power up his video game that he's probably beaten 3,000 times by now. Yeah. And he's, so they had a problem. Which I guess I didn't really think of until they brought it up. But I'm like, yeah, you probably could not be playing a video game right now. Yeah. But, yeah, well, they're, in a dangerous area. Yeah. But whatever. It's a fucking movie, people. I'll rely on I'll use that excuse when I hate something, and then I'll defend that when I love something. Hey, it's just a movie. Yeah.
There are the two things of that. Like, it's just a movie, and then it's like, it might be a movie, but
Superman would never do that. Well, I'm willing to accept he flies. And, and get into those arguments.
Yes. This alien from another world that comes down and relies on our laws of physics would never.
Yeah. Well, he would never lift up an entire island made of kryptonite, though.
Going into that now, really, that was the...
So many.
Come
on, Ryder.
I have never understood, with Superman, how exactly does radiation work in that universe? Because crystal in a pocket...
Oh, no, a gram of it will bring him to his knees... Yeah, but he can carry an entire...
It's almost like if he can see it, he's affected by it. If he can't see it, it's as if it's not there. Because, the entire island has kryptonite at its core. Yeah. And he can lift it up. And it's only when the crystals start to poke into him that he has a problem at that point. And then you've got the other films.
I had lots of problems before that point, by the way.
Yeah. Just going to that big basic one. But then,
please hurry, Man of Steel.
But then, of course, you've got in the old films, and I think even in the TV show, Lex Luthor will have something behind his, just holding something behind his back of kryptonite, and he's fine. And the second he brings his arm round,
so is it just a placebo? Is it the knowledge?
I guess, yeah.
Is he actually? I think that's it. I think we solved it. It is a placebo. It's all in his head.
Anything green and glowing.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, this is just a green rock. Wait, I'm going to call it kryptonite. Oh, no, don't call it kryptonite. It hurts. Yeah. Here's a bottle of Rolling Rock with kryptonite. Oh, I can't drink it now.
I've carved kryptonite on a cover.
Where was I? I don't know. Yeah. Believability. Yeah.
So this is a film where they do play with some of the zombie types. I believe
they're slow moving and then they run.
Yeah,
whatever.
Although I will always maintain, look at any animal.
Yeah.
And
they're
are they
conserving energy
all the time?
Yeah. No. They're going to sprint when the gazelle is close.
So I can be absolutely fine with zombies moving fast at times.
And why do they have to adhere to other rules that other movies that they have nothing to do with have set up?
Yeah. Not to mention, of course, one thing that, as we were just saying with Superman, of course, let's see, zombies don't exist.
Exactly what I was going to go. So, as of this point, do not exist. So, who is to say how they act?
However, I will be a slight hypocrite right now going with another series of films and say that even though they don't exist, there's no reason to completely fuck with an entire lore going back millions of years. Mrs. Meyer, or however you pronounce that fucking last name, vampires do not sparkle or go in the daylight. Even though I'm willing to say that it's a film, zombies don't exist, therefore they can adhere to their own rules. Vampires do not go in the fucking daylight and do not sparkle.
Which did I miss this film? What film are you talking about?
Stephenie Meyer. Twilight.
Oh, okay, sorry.
They fucking sparkle.
Well, when you look like that, you have to sparkle, Paul. When you're that gorgeous and pale.
I'm actually glad that you didn't know what I was talking about, because it's...
See, yes, I still have a soul.
Yeah. Do not watch this.
I have regrettably seen the first two.
Yeah,
you know, as a dare, I'm sure I will finish them at some point and just... And I did hear Doug Benson loved the last one. I heard there's plenty of decapitations, so I'm willing to watch it for the decapitations in this last one.
I'm still not even willing to dare you to watch those. I don't want to put you through that.
Yeah, well.
So apart from that slight hypocrisy on my part, I mean, there's one thing of taking your own slight take on zombies, like, you know, they can move fast at time, you know, they can, when they eat people's brains, they gain some of their memories. That could also just be a discussion of, well, what is that?
I did love those parts of going into Perry's memories. I thought that was very well done.
Yeah, so that
a little more heart, a little more, you know, as he's becoming more human, you know, with the guilt of what he's done,
and that even is, as I was just saying, you can have the argument of, well, our memories in the mind, is it just the electrical impulses, or are they stored? You can go with that. You know, whereas, you know, just completely changing 100 years of folklore, which isn't done in this film, but is done in another set of films. Yeah, that's. I'd say there is a bit of a line in what you can do. But yes, Warm Bodies. Yeah, it did very well with everything that it tried to do. Yeah, I didn't know what it was going to go for in the end. I didn't know how big a story they were going to go for. I just knew that there was going to be a zombie that fell in love with a human. I mean, I guess we should say quote-unquote zombie. Yeah. Because they are dead, but they regain humanity, so are they fully dead? I guess it would be. Obviously,
if we're going Monty Python, almost dead. Not dead yet.
Yes.
Not dead yet.
He's getting better.
I'm getting better.
Oh, he died.
I feel much better.
I feel happy.
Yeah,
but so this film, it really does cover everything it goes for. I thought it did well.
Yeah, I mean, Malkovich is typical, I think, typecast type character, but it's, you know, it works for the movie. Yeah, you know, the cranky, very strict, very protective, by the book father / leader.
How you would expect an army person to react in these circumstances.
And the enemy is the enemy, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, we can't let one in because it might be different. Yeah, which I did think at that point. Fair enough.
Fair enough. If they ate my wife, I'd be a little defensive on that position as well, which I think is what happened. Or didn't, ate your mother, or killed your mother, or something like that.
Yeah, the mother died at some point. And he really isn't given solid evidence, I think. Yeah, it's fair enough on his point that he still wants to kill this zombie, even though he seems to be acting different, and his daughter is saying he's different, that he saved her. It's still the point of, well, how different are you? You're not human. Yeah. So, and I will actually bring up something right at the end when he's shot. Thinking back on it, I remember I looked on Wikipedia just as a brief summary to remind myself of the plot, and it said he was shot in the shoulder. Bullshit, he's shot pretty much in the chest, almost where his heart is. Yeah, he'd have bled out by the end of that scene.
Yeah. I was okay, actually. I mean, it would have been a downer, but I was okay if he had died. Like, that would have been...
again.
Well, like, you know, really...
Or actually
died. Yeah, actually died, and that would have made him... I don't know, I could kind of go for the tragic stuff, but I was like, holy shit, that would have been a very bold choice.
That could have been a good ending. I still had the other zombies becoming human and everything.
But man, that'd be tough for good old Julie. Just one boyfriend gets eaten, and then like 2 weeks later, your other zombie boyfriend turned human, gets shot when he would have been fine a week later or a week earlier. When he was still part zombie. Well, I guess he is still part zombie now.
It would have almost been a better catalyst for John Malkovich's character, spoilers, finally given the order to let them be alright, because he has just killed someone that he thought was a zombie and was a zombie, but is now human, and he just killed him. He just killed this thing that his daughter's been telling him the entire time is becoming more human. Yeah. And at that point, he would have to accept... shit. This is actually happening, and I've just ruined my daughter's life, basically.
Yeah, I did want to, real quickly, the only part of this movie that really made me groan, and I think I even did it audibly. There was only one other person in the theater, and I went, ugh. And he was a few rows in front of me. But I was corrected, and we'll see if you can get it before I get to it.
Alright.
I don't know. No, nothing coming to you? Yeah. It is a kind of almost setting up a montage, but it doesn't happen. When R comes back to the human camp, and R visits Julie, and Julie's friend sees him, and they bring him in and decide to make him look human.
Right.
Yeah, and do the makeup thing, and Julie's friend puts on Roy Orbison's Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
And immediately I go, ugh. I'm like, this movie's not really doing this. Yeah. Are they really doing this? Because you're not sure at first, did she play it or is this the soundtrack?
Yeah, it does just start up.
It just start up, yeah. And then she goes over and shuts it off. And it's like, oh, come on, it's funny. And okay, they're poking fun at it. I'm okay with that. But for a second, I thought they were really going there, and I was about ready to just throw the whole thing in the shitter if they had thought they could pull that off.
Right? I would have even accepted if that had started up, and then you sort of zoom back to CR, and then it just goes, like the cut off is where it's like, okay, no. But it was the fact that they did that. Yeah. Obviously the idea is it's actually happening and all that.
That was the only part, and I was, like I said, saved from it. So
always nice when that happens.
I'm like, please don't cater to the lowest common denominator, but they didn't. So
the one other thing that I'll say here is I read up. Jonathan Levine has said that he always thought of R as Edward Scissorhands, and he apparently has also said that whenever he watches Edward Scissorhands, he sees it as a zombie film, even though it's not a zombie film.
I'll have to go back and watch it, even though I've seen it recently.
And when I read that, thinking back to the film, it's like, well, I can kind of get that.
Well,
he's trying to be human. Obviously, this goes further.
You can use that as a template for anyone that's an outsider or on the fringes of society,
which is why
or a subculture.
It's why most of these stories work so well. Yeah. Like it caters to the people that feels, I'm on the outside, no one gets me.
Or the fear of an outsider coming in, whichever side you happen to feel.
Zombie gets to give you both of those. But so. And I saw that and I thought, I can see that. He said he used, obviously, Edward Scissorhands as a basis for R, and thinking back on it, you can see that. Obviously, R is more, you can hear his inner monologue, you can see some of the things that drive him, and therefore I think he's a better main guy. It's because he becomes human in the end, again, spoilers, that you can sort of connect with him more than you might connect with Edward Scissorhands.
I don't know. I'm
not saying you can't connect with Edward Scissorhands. I felt
more of a connection with Edward, but
But the fact that I think in general you can connect with Edward Scissorhands in the outsider aspect, and the fact that he's made to go, he's ostracized from the
and that I was also created by an inventor, and I have scissor hands. It's very troubling movie for me to watch.
Right. But obviously you get this thing of the people were normal people, they then became zombies, and he's becoming human again, reaffirming his humanity, I guess you could say, learning how to be human again. So you can, I guess in the idea, you can connect better with someone who's retaking his humanity rather than someone that was just invented. But I would still say Edward Scissorhands better film than Warm Bodies overall.
I guess if we're going to compare apples and oranges, But I don't know. I think ready to move on to the rating here on this one.
Sure.
I'll jump on this one here. I think, like I said, I enjoyed it. It's not something I'm crazy about, but I still enjoyed it. Still well worth the price of admission. Still, this is a purchase depending on the amount of special features for me.
There we go.
That's if it just has deleted scenes, I'm gonna pass.
Wakelet ends up in the bargain bin.
If it has making of and a couple commentary tracks, why? That's just how I am on those things. I am gonna go with a minus 3.5 on this.
Minus 3.5. All right.
Yeah.
I originally. It's been a while since I've seen the film, so thinking about it, I was originally going to go with a minus 5 overall, just because, as you say, it wasn't a film that is like, go out see, guys, you must see this. And in the realm of zombie comedy, it's not even the best in there.
Yeah.
So I was going to go with an overall of minus 5. It's a good film. There's not much bad about it. It's just not a must-see type thing. But since I can't fault it for not being a must-see film, then I'm probably going to mirror you and say minus 3.5, maybe a minus 3, and it's going to be you must have the mindset of this is just a film that's kind of making fun of zombies, it's a good comedy story in and of itself.
And I could see if you asked me a rating from a year from now, it would probably be lower. I don't think this is going to hold up as well for me as some other in the genre.
Yeah, probably not. But
I
still
might go to -5 or something like
Yeah.
a year, something like that. But right now, it's still pretty fresh for me. Still enjoyed it. I'll still probably enjoy it the next few times I see it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm on that. And I should maybe explain to you where I am on our rating system, as hopefully you folks know, goes from 0 to -20. Yeah. And in my head, I kind of view -10 as utter shit. And 10 to 20 is just reserved on grading how bad shit is. So, I'm always kind of going from 0 to -10. And then if it's horrible, I go from somewhere -10 to -20,
Yeah, I tend to go for, I think, anything below -15 is just complete dredge and entire.
Not even for a little bit of enjoyment,
Yeah.
Not even in the so bad it's good kind of way.
No,
it's just so bad it's so bad.
Yeah, just picking a number to give you there.
Yeah.
And then say -15 to
so that's kind of on a scale
10.
to 10 for me.
Yeah, it's just bad, but we can't say it's awful. And then anything above that is getting better.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand on that. So I was going to go with -5, just in general, as I said, as an overall thing, but putting it up for now, but not necessarily going to stay there, as you say.
Yeah, probably not. All right, moving on, I think, to maybe some others in the genre.
I think to do a brief one first, I would say Zombieland.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right.
I think that the other one we might talk about might be a nice ending to it. So, Zombieland would be the most recent one before this one that is sort of zombie comedy.
With the romantic through line.
Yeah. Mass release zombie comedy.
Yeah.
This one obviously being from the point of view of the human survivors.
Yeah.
And I think Jesse Eisenberg
as Columbus. Yeah.
And he
very fitting.
He has all of these rules that he has to abide by. Yeah. Check for things, make sure you do cardio.
Oh, yeah, the rules, yeah.
I'm sure
double tap, yeah.
Watch any trailer, you'll see a bunch of the rules on there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got Woody Harrelson.
As Tallahassee.
And, I've not seen it for a while, so...
Oh, I watch it. I've seen it probably a dozen times, I would say.
Right.
One of my recent favorites. And Emma Stone. I love some Emma Stone as well.
Right.
She's a great actress as well, but yeah. Well, no, she's Wichita. But I think. I should know her name at the end, but she does say her name at the end. Correct me on that, folks. Very disappointed with myself, but yeah. Abigail Breslin's in there. Yeah. Sunshine, but
and it's a fantastic tale of these people just. I think originally, obviously, Woody Harrelson's character is looking for the last ever Twinkie.
That's kind of his, that's
his drive,
mission,
as it were. Mm-hmm. And they're all, I guess, just looking for somewhere safe to hold up or to attempt to live.
To hopefully rebuild or something. But out east, they hear it's out west, and out west, they hear it's out east. And,
a lot of the stereotypes of nowhere's actually safe. They just keep traveling. I think Walking Dead does that of stay out of the cities and there's a big haven. No, there isn't.
And I would say some of the most comical zombie deaths I've ever seen. And I love like the video game aspect that movie brought, like with the graphics on screen, like zombie kill of the week, or with the rules coming up, or when a situation is happening, the rule coming up at the bottom or somewhere, just. Those little touches.
I think one of my favorite one of those is when I'm guessing housewife is running away from her zombie children in the car, and she ends up flying through the windscreen, and it just pops up like always wear your seatbelt.
Oh yeah, that's like in the
I mean that could actually just be a PSA in and of itself.
Yeah, little bastards. Yeah, the little vampire girls or zombie girls. Sorry, Twilight got it into me. Yes. Yeah, I love that movie. I love the whole thing with Woody Harrelson's awesome in it. Like he's really coming back strong. I don't know, I really, really enjoyed him, and he's done a lot of independent stuff and a lot of more mainstream stuff. His characters have always been really great. And Tallahassee was no exception, and like even the last little showdown was just awesome with the stand, and I really thought you really think he's gonna bite it in there, and And great music at the moment.
And then, of course, he's got, I think, obviously this is a spoiler for those of you that haven't seen Zombieland, but I think given how long it's been out, it's probably been spoiled for you anyway.
And you know how we operate.
Yeah. Just the entire breakdown, finally, of Bill fucking Murray!
Oh, God, yeah. There's just no smile wider that could be on my face than that scene. Yeah.
One of the best cameos in any film ever, I think.
It is. And, the whole fact that they even play Ghostbusters, and that he lets Tallahassee be Venkman, if you listen.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect. And you have Emma Stone playing Janine. Yeah. Oh, what's their line? I don't know. It's on the ceiling. Doing her little Annie Potts thing. Yeah. Sorry about the bug eyes thing. Yeah.
It's just a really good done.
It's hilarious. And it's a good love story. I know that's pretty much seems required by most studios now, but it didn't seem overly forced.
No, I mean, even though you can kind of argue it's like, last man meets last woman.
Yeah, there's like not a whole lot of options for them. Yeah, and they are roughly the same age, so yeah.
Yeah, so if you had to pick two characters that might fall in love in this film, who would you put your money on?
And Jesse Eisenberg is looking pretty good, I guess, at that point. He always seems to do pretty well in the movies. I don't know.
Sure. Well, Social Network, not necessarily. He's more of an asshole than anything else in that.
Adventureland, gets the girl. But he likes movies with land in the title.
Yes.
Facebook Land. Yeah.
They should have just called it that.
Facebook Land. You keep on the roll there. Yeah. You'd have the Land trilogy, the Eisenberg Land trilogy.
Yeah. Okay. That
missed a marketing opportunity there.
Trademark.
Yeah. So that one's always high up on in my mind.
Yeah, as we say, I think more rewatchable and slightly higher scores.
I'm always trying to turn people onto that. Just, you haven't seen that? Watch it. And inevitably, they don't love it as much as me, or I overhype it, which I hate doing. But
it's going to be one of those things that I definitely think Zombieland is going to hold up better over time than One Body.
I mean, it just has tons of guns and the shooting and the bloody violence, but it's comedic. Bill fucking Murray. Need I go on? Just hilarious scenes.
I didn't have a rating set.
There's some touching scenes when you realize Woody Harrelson's actually lost a son, not a dog.
Which, going into it is actually a brilliant thing. You get to see Jesse Eisenberg's character talking about Woody Harrelson's character, saying, he's lost his dog, and then you see the sappy montage of, he's out with his dog, he's letting his dog kiss him, and all this, and the character thinks, okay, that's just weird. And then you don't think much more of it. And then you hit the scene where you realise that it's his son, not his dog.
We made this wallet together. Like, what?
And then it's the exact same montage with the son in place of the dog. Aww. And it suddenly makes sense.
Poor kid.
So it's one of those you can have your cake and eat it too moments.
Yeah, a little bit of everything in there. And fucking clowns. I hate clowns, and there's one in there, and God damn it, I hated it. But at least he killed it.
Yeah.
Zombie clown, that's like one of the worst things I could imagine right now.
Maybe I should turn you on to Killer Clown from Outer Space.
No, I have attempted to watch that. That and It are part of the reason I hate clowns.
I never understood the thing of everyone saying, I watched it and was afraid of clowns. I never watched that thinking, clowns are scary. I just watched that thinking,
clowns are assholes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Assholes that like to torment kids.
Tim Curry doing fairly well.
Yeah.
One of my favourite little jokes that I've heard someone make is what actually happened was he just never left the set. So all those scenes where he's in the background, with the noise maker and blowing balloons on the railing and stuff, he's just doing that. They can't get him off the set. He won't leave.
Probably not. All right, I think we've killed Zombieland enough to use the terminology. Yeah. Moving on to, and we will try and keep this short.
We
promise 10 minutes, maybe 15 at the top. So we'll try to get through this.
Depends how I edit it.
Yeah, I suppose. A film we might, I venture to say, both enjoy.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, and we'll probably touch on it again in future. Considering the people associated with it. Shaun of the Dead.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yes, a fantastically done Rom-Zom-Com, as it was marketed as. Of course, the whole point of this film is that the main character is trying to get his girlfriend back and get his life on track. At the same time that there just happens to be a zombie apocalypse.
Poor timing.
Yeah, very poor timing.
Yes, the girlfriend wants him to mature and move on, and he always wants to go to the same place.
Yes, always down to the Winchester.
Holding up our W's right here on the phone.
Of course, he's got a best friend who's really immature.
Yes, very, very laid back, lazy.
Yeah, and of course you get wonderful lines such as like, your boyfriend, he's your boyfriend, not my boyfriend. Like, I bought you a drink, thanks, babe.
Thanks, babe. Yeah.
All these great things. And some of those are pulled from earlier works with the people involved. Like that whole boyfriend thing is actually dragged out of space.
Yep.
The boyfriend's on the phone. He's not my boyfriend. Hi, babe. What's going on? And watch Spaced if you haven't. It's on Netflix, for God's sake. Watch it.
Yeah, please.
So it's Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and it was co-written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright, directed by Edgar Wright, and starring several people that were prominent in the UK at the time. Obviously it's set in London, and it's got some people who, even fleeting glimpses, are people that are actually huge now. You've got someone called Matt Lucas is in it for less than about 2 seconds, and he is in a double act with one of the most famous UK comedy people of this time now, and back then he was still big, but not as big as he is now. And again, very briefly, you've got Martin Freeman. He's in it very shortly, with the long line of people that they go past, and Jessica Stevenson, who big co-star with Space, and she is in it, I think, 3 times. Keep bumping into Shaun, so it's one of those things where there are some in-jokes for people that know the people involved with the film, and some people will go, oh, well, I can't see this film then, because of that, I had to have seen all this stuff. No, you don't. Even though they're in-jokes, the people that are in it just plays fantastically anyway. He keeps meeting up with this person who, in the film, it's someone he went to university with, as opposed to, as you really know, it's someone that he worked with quite a lot. Yeah. So it's very well done, and a lot of the jokes are just spot on.
They are perfect.
So many great scenes of at the beginning he goes down to the shops, gets a drink and a cornetto, I think, and walks back, and then the next day, as this apocalypse has just happened, same shot,
mirrors
walking down,
the scene.
Decides to get a Diet Coke instead of a regular Coke, really a bit better. Slight slips.
Blood all over the floor, slight slip.
Just not quite paying much attention,
Oh, yeah.
A very good physical comedy guy, Simon Pegg, and loads of quotable lines. And you've got, when they first start to realise that something might be going on, you've got Nick Frost just saying, like, there's a girl in the garden. Like, what? Yeah. The garden.
One of my favorite.
So they go out, and then...
Which I did have to learn that garden did not mean garden. Garden meant yard, essentially, to me. Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of rude, standing in the roses. But,
Yes, okay. In the UK, if we say garden, it's basically your backyard. Yeah. Maybe your front yard if you have a nice enough yard, but whatever. And so, because of the interaction with them, they start to really realise something's going on. And then, of course, the zombie that's... when they've finally seen the news, walks in. The one-armed zombie goes, he's got an arm off!
Which was an actual amputee, I believe.
Yeah. And they found someone that was available, and so
good sport, I guess I'd say. Yeah, you've got an arm off yelled at him. Yeah. Who knows how many takes? But
Although, given Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, I'm sure that the reactions were slightly different from time to time. Maybe he's got an arm offline was always in there, but I'm sure there was different things that happened.
Yeah. And folks, if you don't know already, look for the invisible ashtray that hits the one-armed zombie's head that he picks up off of the coffee table, and then in a swinging motion, there is nothing in his hand, and then impact. And then also, did you notice the disappearing ashtray in that film, which is the very racially insensitive, I think they call it, if you've listened to enough commentaries. Yeah. That's in there for like the one scene, I think, and then gone.
Yeah.
It's like black babies or something, isn't it? Yeah.
One of those things that you know that someone had a word after they shot the first scene. It's like, we need to take this away.
Probably don't want that. We're probably going to get hell for this. And they didn't have enough coverage of their scene, so I guess they had to go and didn't want to do reshoots. Who knows? But from start to finish, perfect pacing. One of my favorite scenes, the jukebox fight with the owner of the pub.
Yeah,
because you got the mom and the girlfriend bopping their heads to the music while their lives are in danger.
Basically,
while she's turning into a zombie, the mom.
You cannot watch that scene
with Queen
and listen to "Don't Stop Me Now"
without thinking. Just hitting him. Everyone just hitting him over the back.
Everyone got the ball key. The zombie. If we're going into real semantics, not acting the way that I'm sure a zombie would act, like rather than just sort of brushing it off and going for him, he's just kind of, stop hitting me. But of course the scene wouldn't quite have worked as well. And it's got the brilliant line where Simon's bossing everyone around. It's like, you're going to, David, kill the Queen. What? The jukebox. It's got just fantastic line after fantastic line. Fantastic scene after fantastic scene, and pretty much all of the characters reacting in the way you would expect a general public to react to these sorts of scenes. You get people that are picked up because they're incredibly stupid and not thinking about it. I'm sure people would do that in a panic situation. And then you've got some of the surprise killings as well, where you might not see it coming. And being, again, a film fan, the sort of thing where someone's standing in front of a window which is facing the zombies that are trying to get in. Maybe you might figure out who's going to die. But, it got some genuine heart to the film, and then some genuine gore with some of the deaths, and it's just done really well.
Yeah, and I really loved Bill Nye in it. I mean, he was perfect from start to finish in it. For his finish in it, and just like you said, with heart, with seeing I've always thought of myself as your father, or whatever he said. Very touching scene with Simon Pegg,
and for the entire first half of the film, he's been pointing out that this guy is not his
my
father. Stepdad, he's always hated this guy, and then in this one death scene, he's unletting, I've always tried to be your father, I've always thought of myself as your father, I've always wanted what's best for you, you need to look after your mum. And so you get that whole, he finally breaks down, says, stop the car, mum, he's dead, and then just a fantastic line, no he isn't. Turn back, there he is, zombie.
And it's just one of the best callbacks in a movie ever. I love the whole through line of "You've got red on you." Just perfect every time. You've got red on you. You've got red on you. The pen and the blood, and just all the way through. And I love just introducing Bill Nye's character, his little twirl in the shop.
I believe I've heard interviews and stuff. Bill Nye was the one that came out and he said, I really want to do the film, I'll do it, whatever, but I just want to do the twirl intro
into camera. It's and apologize to Darth Maul. I guess we didn't get him too much, but
Peter Serafinovich. And good sport, Peter Serafinovich. He's got. He's a very put upon flatmate, housemate.
Yeah, the responsible one of the bit.
Yeah, the one that's the manager at somewhere. He's probably paying most of the bills. Yeah. He's the one that's having a go at Ed for never writing anything down. I just it can't be that difficult, can it? Just putting pen to a bit of paper. Almost every...
That was 4 fucking years ago. He's still here.
Almost every line that you think could become a joke ends up having a comeback. And like that one thing of like, it can't be that difficult, writing something on a bit of paper, has an immediate comeback if he turns around and it's just like, kick me, or something on the back of his... And
the best thing of his plan mirrors the entire movie. Yeah, have a couple of shots. With the shotgun.
Have a bite at.
Have a bite. Yeah, the whole thing. Mirrors the rest of the movie. Yeah, I love that. Very clever, as it were, Mr. Edgar Wright or Simon Pegg, whichever one thought of that.
And now the film is very sort of British comedy heavy. There's a lot of things that kind of dry wit type thing that most people might just think kind of funny but not really that funny. I mean, one of the things that I think one of my favourite little bits in the film is he's explaining okay, I've come to rescue you, now we're going to run down, grab anything you can, just bash him on the head, that seemed to work, ow. Like, he hits himself on the head with the cricket bat, finishes his line, and then it's like, that hurt.
That seems to work, yeah.
Just that little thing of like, oh, okay, that's a nice little addition. This film's just full of nice little additions.
I promise my last thing. I promise, and then we'll get out of here. Or I will. When in the Winchester, when he turns on the light, and then sees all of the zombies, and shuts it back off and walks away. It's just perfect. Yeah. We're not going that way.
And that kind of mirrors again. Earlier in the film, it's like, are they still out there? Walks to the curtains, opens them, closes them, walks back up. Yes.
How many are there? Looks over the fence. Yeah.
So, just watch the film. We've tried not to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it. And
hopefully you stopped if you had any interest at all yet.
Yeah.
And watch it before you listen to this segment.
And then, once you've watched Shaun of the Dead, go ahead and watch Hot Fuzz. Just find Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright, and Nick Frost. Just look into their stuff. I mean, you got Paul as well.
Yeah, which I still have to see.
I would recommend it.
Yes, I know. I was annoyed with Rogan as the alien in all the trailers. So,
well,
let me know when it's on Netflix, sir. I'll look into it. Until that day,
I'll let you know.
Yeah,
it might be my recommendation. I don't know.
Oh yes, let's nice segue.
Well, mine would be, it's another Australian film this time, called The Castle. And it's a film about...
Now make sure Nathan Fillion is not in this?
No.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
Castle. Okay,
Nathan Fillion in an Australian film.
Hey, why not?
And basically the plot of this is, this family live in this house. The dad, the head of the household, the home is the castle, basically. They don't live in a castle, they live at a random streets. And the council or the government or whatever it is that decides these things is buying up all the houses and getting people evicted and stuff like that so that they can build an airport. And this guy just will not let this happen, no matter what. Yeah. And it's told from the point of view / narration of one of the sons. Eric Bana is actually in this. It's one of his earliest roles, if not his earliest. And it's just a fantastic film of, you're rooting for this family, even though as you get further into it, you realise, I don't actually know if this guy can pull it off. Everyone on the other side has vastly superior lawyers. They have, the laws of the land on their side. And this guy is going in with the argument of, it's my house. You can't get rid of my house. So it's a fantastic story, very well told, and quite humorous. Okay. As most sorts of Australian films that weren't horror films back then, when they were making them, it's got the sense of humour to it, as well as a heartfelt story. So it's a very good film, and you will not be needing any Kleenex by your side to wipe away the tears. Well, unless, of course, tears of joy.
That brings me to my recommendation. Nicely. It's a little film from 2010 called The Way. It's directed by Emilio Estevez. Very small budget, I would imagine, because of very limited release. But directed by Emilio Estevez. He is in it briefly. And then it's Martin Sheen's movie for the most part. Briefly, there's this pilgrimage in Europe, the Camino de Santiago, which I don't know the origin point, but it's 500 miles from there to Spain. And hundreds of people do this, or thousands of people do this every year, seeking spirituality, just seeking exercise, some meaning in their life, whatever. You know, it's just very important for them to do this. And has to be, because you have to take off like 3 months of work, pretty much, and you stay at hostels and, you know, all this stuff, and just a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
In England, it'll probably be one of those things, it's called a gap year. The thing where when you turn 18, you've left what we call college, and, well, if you've left what we call college, your options then are either go into the workplace, go to university, or take what's known as a gap year and apply for university the next year. A lot of people go hitchhiking, backpacking, all of this stuff. That'll be the time when most people will do it.
But Martin Sheen, well, I should say Emilio Estevez, and this isn't really a spoiler. This happens in like the opening of the film. Emilio Estevez is killed very early on into his pilgrimage, and his father sets off to recover his son's remains, and there comes to the realization he needs to complete this journey for his son.
Right.
They were kind of on the outs, blah, 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 ins and outs, and close, not close. And so it's very important for him to complete this. And he's an old man, obviously, and it's going to be very, very tough. But he meets a lot of interesting characters along the way. Some very wonderful bit parts played by lots of familiar faces. You're going to go, oh, that annoys me. I know them from something. And you'll have to look them up after the movie, which is what I did after I first watched it. But it's just so well told. Emilio Estevez, just, I mean, great job directing. I mean, it's just a wonderful movie. You might be interested to know Mr. James Nesbitt makes an appearance.
Mr. Nesbitt?
Yes. Lovely, lovely character by Mr. Nesbitt.
I think
very annoying to Martin Sheen's character. But,
I'll definitely have to watch it.
And there's like a Swedish guy, I think like York Van Wageningen, I don't know. But, Deborah Kara Unger, who you'd recognize, you know, she's there. She wants to quit smoking, and you know, whatever. And so they kind of group up for a little bit, and then, you know, he's obviously a lot slower, and they meet up at different points. But it's just this journey, and it's just so well told. If you are inclined to emotional reactions in films, you probably will want the Kleenex nearby in this one. If that's not a problem, don't worry about it. But highly recommended if you just want something other than feeling different than guns blazing kind of movie. You know, well told story. But I think that's gonna cover it for us.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can go too much into it without just starting a second podcast. Which we will do.
We might have to divide this as it is. All right, and I guess we'll say, remember, dogs can look up. Bye, 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 bye.